World Card Game Federation here with a match in my own dang basement. I'm going up against good old Andrew again here. He has one of his interesting decks, I would say, a black manipulative Kami. So I have mixed memories of fighting Kami. I always remember that in sort of a way that's hard to describe. I just remember it being very hard to land a hit on him. Looks like I got the ability to go first. I do pass. I rejuvenate a Sin Choke, which is a good idea. You always want to have those later. Also, the 17 deck's not much for pressuring people. Okay, and then goes over to Andrew. Andrew's going to go ahead and throw down. I forgot the name of that card, but it's the one that attaches to setups and kills you dead as it stays out there. So it's going to go back over to me.
Why does Mario hate Little Trunks so much?
A little bit of an observational thing going on over here. So I'm going to go ahead and draw my 3.
Like, why do I hate that kid so much? You're going to say, well, because I've met this.
So in a little bit of an aside, I do dislike Little Trunks, Fat Boo, and Goten as my characters. Pretty much only characters I dislike out of the series. And that's saying a lot. Like, DPC embraces a lot of characters, not all of them particularly fun, but I do tend to feel that way about them.
It's my third time around. Next time I get a
It's just because you guys know how serious Trunks' future was, and the main timeline's kind of goofy with all the people getting resurrected constantly. You know, very little consequences for what goes on.
Fight for glory or honor. That's none of that has anything to do with it. He fights for survival. That's it.
So I'm messing around over here, philosophizing while I should be fighting. So right now it looks like I don't have too much going on.
You know what? Did you
I can't get a good look at my own hand over here.
Remember where they're standing on everybody they've ever killed in the series?
So a little bit of a joke. It's actually maybe one of my favorite metaphors about, like, what did this character accomplish in the course of the series?
You get what I'm saying. So he has this big stack of people he's, killed.
You know the ones they're talking about, that one fan art that really made the rounds. It's Vegeta, Goku, Gohan, Trunks, all standing on their entire body count throughout the entire Z Saga. So it's still one of my favorites. I enjoy that Trunks basically has the highest body count in the series. And I know somebody will say, like, oh, Vegeta blew up a planet. That's not what I mean. I mean, opponents directly fought, that kind of thing.
Just don't fudge around. I'm going to get you. I'm going to come at you. I declare combat.
Okay, apparently after all that philosophizing, I'm ready to go ahead and jump in on a combat. I declare combat. Now, neither of us are known for being particularly aggressive. Ooh, okay. So I'm open up with a stare down so I can see what's going on in that hand. He had a Mischief. He had a Black D-Burst. I'm probably going to make him put away Mischief. Yep, because I just don't want to deal with it, flat out. Okay, and it goes back. He's got more or less not too many cards in his hand. Okay, we're going to go ahead and watch good old Andrew respond. Looks like he is going to respond with the Black D-Burst. It's going to hit me with a little bit of a damage boost from Black Manipulative, so it's 5 life cards. I want to say he probably... there we go. I was going to say crits me here. Nope, I'm made of tissue paper, so I'm going to go ahead and take virtually all of that, using only a very small amount of endurance. So our battlefield really is fairly plain at this point. It reminds me of an early game, as in early in DBZ's lifespan type of fight. Everything's in our hands, Not too much out on the field, taking our time, trading very minor blows.
Gohan's is just Cell, the Cell Juniors, and one Frieza henchman. Yeah. And then you look over at Trunks's, boom. It's like, yeah, kind of a lot of dudes.
We're just talking about Trunks being one of the more straightforward guys. At some point, I'm probably going to, by the time these are all posted and everything, I will probably have a very silly Trunks sword deck thrown together just for fun. So I'm going to respond with the Black Energy Web. This looks like 6 life cards. I want to say that Andrew's going to have to take it because it's not a particularly hard hit. He takes the hit. It doesn't do a lot to him. Neither of us are going to anger up a whole heck of a bunch.
I'll pass. Oh, mastery. Let's see all the stuff. Banish the top card you pose, discard pile. Discard a card.
Yeah, I'm going to activate the Black Mischievous. Banish the top of his discard pile. We're going to go ahead and force a random discard from the top from his deck. As our custom, we go evens and odds.
All right, your action, sir.
Make him ditch a card.
I will, for no reason...
He ends up ditching his physical block. I can't throw my physical. Man, you can tell we'd already been playing for a while at this point by the time we turned on the camera. All right, combat's over. Did very minor damage to each other. It was barely worth it.
Old Trunks' whole lifestyle. I remember I was trying to explain to somebody, like, what's the tone of this one? You're like, the saddest one, by far. The most bleak.
Back to the Future 2.
If it was just that one timeline.
Well, yeah, that's pretty much what this is.
And then I said, if you don't get it, it's Terminator. It's just Terminator. The machines dominated the future.
So we're just talking about how Toriyama loved the Western movies, of course, and like all of us, have a soft spot for Terminator, and basically loosely, silly putty copied the plot over into DBZ. Hey, so this particular combo is making me feel like an utter fool, because it's a great thing to have early game, because it sets up maybe one of my most effective miniature combos. The only thing is, that Black Reprimand, I can't think of what it's called, but the one with King Kai on it right there is going to attach to one of them bad boys and dang near kill me.
His work is amazing.
Okay, and then Andrew's going to end his turn. He rejuvenates Black...
and it's tough. You're like Super Saiyan 3, Mystic.
I'm not really sure what that was.
All these amazing themes that he did. Like, beautiful themes. You guys know
oh, yeah. So off the top, would you believe that despite us being, 20-plus year veterans of loving the DBZ stuff, of all things, off the top, one of my buddies is off screen here, could not remember the Death of Future Gohan theme. Now, I'm aware there's people who've come to the hobby and come to the stories of DBZ so far after the heyday that they never even heard the Bruce Falconer stuff, but it's hard to listen to this stuff and not just lose you. Well, in my case, just become awed by it all. Because I've heard my favorite story about Bruce Falconer is that he straight up didn't know anything about the series. When they first approached him to do the music for it, he was just like, I don't know what any of this is. I've never heard of Dragon Ball. And he just comes up with all these fantastic, beautiful themes. And, like I said, didn't know jack all about it. Oh boy, an absorption drill out early game.
It's all coming together.
It's maybe some of the best stuff I could hope for, because you guys see what's going on here, right? So I basically loop with it, mastery into viewing drill into absorption drill, and then basically trap them with Gohan's ability and Gohan's 17's ability. Then it activates the viewing and then activates absorption. Just crazy stuff. So I do declare combat. I draw him in. I do use my mastery. I do make him banish top the discard pile. I do roll for 1 through 4, trying to hit one. So I do hit 4, number 1. And then viewing drill goes off, and then I get to use absorption drill, and that's going to go right back on. And he's got that floating effect that says if he throws an attack at me, it's going to go ahead and cause him to draw a card, and I'm going to make him mill a card,
Ooh, what's that do? Make me banish stuff for as long as it's out?
And that is the card we were talking about, the one that how do you kill Mario dead? Like the old Roach commercials, for Roach spray. Kills Mario's dead.
I'll throw a black defensive burst at you. Just tiny for life.
Okay, I hit him with a very tiny black D-burst, which is hilarious. He takes a small amount of damage.
Take that, you.
Confro.
Uh-oh. He's going to throw confrontation at me, and this is going to slow me down quite a bit, because I think the whole point of this was to come into combat, mess with him, throw a very small attack, and dip right back out. And, usually that works okay for me.
Blending.
That would be the smart thing to get rid of, because he's not going to really throw any attacks at me, so time really isn't going to hurt nothing by staying in it. And it makes me get defensive postured, so there's no downside here. And like I said, his Kami isn't known for...
No reason, really. Just do something at you.
I'm an A.
Oh, it's just 4 stages.
I throw a flat 4-stage physical from 17's power. It does a small amount of damage. It's not really very meaningful. The hit on it goes off. It doesn't matter. I don't carry... Okay, he's going to do Black Maximum Shout. I always thought that was a neat card, but probably should have came out a couple of sets earlier. At least that's my opinion. I think it's a very useful card. Utilitarian, but just real late in the black style. Okay, he's going to target the 2 cards. He's going to rejuvenate a couple of cards. Do fun stuff like that. Because remember, Kami's shtick is that he's going to hurt himself a lot. And then this combat ends. We pass.
Will attach your opponent banishes top card of his life deck at the end of each turn. So, out.
Okay, at the end of the turn, I do banish the top card of my life deck because that card's out, and that's going to go ahead and make this a really rough little race. Okay, he's going to power up his Kami. We're going to see if he's going to... No, he's not going to go into combat. He's going to pass, rejuvenate. I do banish because it was the end of Andrew's turn, and that attach card to the smoothness keeps going off.
But if I'm going to lose health at the end of this regardless, I'll declare combat.
So I am going to declare combat, and hopefully I can do a little bit of damage, keep things close, because that's really all that I can do is 17. Remember, I can't really kill you, but I can mess with you a little bit. I'm going to use the Mastery, make him banish top the discard pile, roll for 1 through 4.
It's loaded.
I rolled a lot of 5s in a row there, son of a gun. Okay, number 4 goes away, and because I made him discard 1, I mill 1. And then because of Absorption Drill being out, I get to rejuve 1, or place 1, rather. So not a bad situation to be in, really. I have made Andrew draw into Dragon Balls over and over again with his deck. It's a little crazy to see how many times that's happened. Ooh, it uses Earth Ball 7 to end combat. That is the end of that one. My turn ends. I banish. Now, I forget, actually, what the exact order is. I want to say I would discard down, then banish. So, did I... Oh, no. I milled 1. Milled 1 for Kami's level 1 power. Shut my mouth. Okay.
I'm so looking forward to doing the poster for our Tree of Might tournament. Because remember we already did World's Strongest and Dead Zone.
We did Tree of Might too, though, didn't we?
No, I wish we did. I would have remembered that, Matt. Because that's the only one that... I have a plan or a scheme to let you guys in on. So, Angelo and John want to come back and play in a DBZ tournament.
So we're talking about something kind of interesting here, at least interesting to me. Some point in the future, I would very much so like to run a Pan-Z Final CRD tournament. We'll see what ends up happening with that one, but I think that would be a good time had by all.
For Panini. So if we were to do our World's Strongest tournament, or not World's Strongest, Tree of Might, would be the one request, and I could pull in more players.
I believe that is Ball 5 he's putting out.
CRD.
I'll play.
That's going to target and banish some cards.
Andrew, I don't think he ever fought it, or maybe if he did, it's been too long. Remember by saying Empowered Goku, my Drill Coup?
You'll know one.
My favorite deck in the whole world. You did what to me?
Where is that at?
Oh, that's right. He plays Dragon Ball in play. I mill 1 because of Kami's powers. We're basically milling about here, but if you think about it, look at the field. He's got enough Dragon Balls to start making a lot of stuff work. His deck's looking a little raggedy, but I'm still banishing 1 at the end of every turn, so it's closer than it might appear. I do have my ultimate combo out, and I think this is where I thought I was going to run in, throw a hit at him, and then dip, but we'll see what happens here. I remember it not going well. I declare combat.
Patience has made this a very different game.
Lack in Patience is the name of that card. So I'm going to banish his drill from his discard pile. I'm going to go ahead and do my roll for 1 through 4. That is the most 5s in history. I think it's a 2. We discard card 2. And then the rest of my combo goes off. So he mills. And then I place. It's a pretty sweet little combo when you get it going. I don't recall how Andrew's going to respond. I think he's going to start pulling out drills and things, trying to set up his own sort of combo action going on with Kami's level 1. But I think he has to push in the Dragon Balls to make it work.
Energy for 3. I'll shuffle in Ball 5.
Yeah, Ball 5 goes in for the power's ability to shuffle him back in. Now, I want to say, I don't have the card in front of me right now, but I want to say that particular Kami's power can even, I don't know if it says Dragon Balls you control or 1 in play, because then that would basically make him immune to having the Dragon Balls captured for more than 1 action at a time in most any combat. That should be nuts. I have to look that up when we get a chance. So I get to shuffle. He's got his own Black Absorption out, which is a great idea.
Then you mill because of this. And then I made you discard a card, so wait, you destroy another one? Wait, I'm trying to think. There's too much going on. I feel like a fool.
I think that's right. I would mill again.
Right. And then I get 2 separate Black Absorptions for this? Is that right? Two separate instances. I just threw 2 drills in non-combats. Oh, that's right. I have to make you mill one or discard one. Sorry. Got ahead of myself.
I'm going to discard one with 17's power, make him mill it. So there's a lot going on there. Basically, I had to apply the floating effect of Black Mischievous towards him, and then he had attacked with his Kami power, and ended up having to discard a card, and I had 2 separate destructions that went off. I stopped that attack with time, which I'm holding on to, and I throw Black Capture at him, which is really shocking to even think I had that in my deck, much less I believe it's going to land on him solidly here.
It's 5 life card energy. If you can stand it.
So Black Capture is one of those cards, to me, never saw nearly as much play as it deserved. So Andrew over here tried to get me on board here with using this card for a long time. Bless his heart, trying to get me to get into it. I finally added it into the deck. Basically, the first time I have it in the deck while fighting it ended up being crucial. So what do you know?
Yes. And there are more in the fridge if you want one.
One time I poured out a dollar store energy drink in my driveway.
Pete over there is just reminding me about how things like Rip It, which anybody who knows me knows I usually have them on hand because they're good and cheap. He was just saying how it discolorated a driveway when he poured it out once. It is not particularly good stuff. Okay, waiting to see, and it does hit Andrew. The Black Capture, it attaches, and now it is a bit of a race to see who's going to get eliminated first.
I'll pass.
He passes, it goes back over to me. A Black D-Burst thrown his way.
Shoulder charge.
He's going to Mastery to prevent all damage from it.
Player's deck on top of their life deck. Lower your opponent's anchor one.
He's going to go ahead and use the effect of Shoulder Charge for being able to stack a card, but he must do it for both of us, so it's got its moments, it's got its advantages, but I've never really seen Shoulder Charge used in this particular manner before, so it might be more desperation than anything else. And I thought it had to be styled, but he ended up putting time on top of my deck. That's interesting.
I pass.
I pass as well.
Okay, Andrew's action, he passes, the combat ends. I do banish because of the, oh man, my time.
Because I have virtually nothing to throw at you.
So I almost took 2 turns there. Yeesh. It's going to, for reals, go over to Andrew.
Every turn you get to banish. Because, what is it? Black Captures on you.
Yep, so I banished that.
Oh, was that on the top of your deck?
Well, I'm going to put it on top of my deck, and then I'm going to banish it.
Okay.
So we skipped a little bit of actions there. You guys probably noticed that Andrew looks like he had pulled a random card from his discard pile and banished it in place of the Black Capture effect. But in reality, he had actually had it...
Or wait. All recollection drill. Use at the start of your turn to destroy the top X of my deck to destroy the top X of my opponent's. X equals the Dragon Balls I control, so 1.
So we're going to go ahead and activate the drill. That makes him mill X for the Dragon Balls in play, and it's going to go ahead and force a mill. But remember, Absorption Drill's still out, so he's going to basically be able to stack a card to be able to help mitigate a little bit of that damage. It's not a bad strategy. He ends up coming off with the same number of cards, but it ends up making me come away with 1 less card. It's not a bad idea. He ends up putting Guardian Drill back. He draws into Guardian Drill. All this is solid stuff. It's like we said, friendly games are the kind where, like, hold on, I came up with a slightly better idea.
Ow! I have never seen the Boondock Saints. I've only had it quoted. Most of my life, people have been like, "The movie's incredible." Like, I don't know.
All attacks deal +1. You'll mill 1.
Is it a ball 1 out? What do you do? Oh, it is.
So you guys remember one of the things that hit me hardest when the Earth Dragon Balls were getting released? I remember thinking, like, why would you ever want something that buffs your opponent's damage? But in reality, it's very seldom been an issue. I've seldom come across any deck that's had an issue with it. I do end up milling as those cards enter play, which is crucial to help even up the gap just a bit. I want to say that with everything that he's stacking, he's actually closing the gap between us in terms of life cards remaining in deck. It's closer than it might have appeared.
They were like $1, so I was like, yeah, that is the right price. It's like, why am I not listening to DBZ music while I DBZ?
What's wrong with you?
Yeah.
Alright, so Andrew's going to be resolving some black absorption stuff. He's going to put out that Guardian Drill that was in his hand.
Each player's turn, however many balls there are.
Oh.
All power up, pass rejuve.
Guardian Drill could potentially go off here with the best of its effects going off. Okay, he's going to activate Black Absorption because of Black Impatience being on me, making me banish. So he's going to go ahead and put that on and stack it, and then it's going to get banished because of the effect of my Black Capture on him. So it's kind of funny to see all this going on simultaneously.
I'll declare combat. I have very little to lose.
So apparently, in a very rare situation, I feel pressured to go into combat in a deck that is nearly entirely defensive. So I will open up with the Mastery. I banish his Sphere. It's gonna go ahead and I'm gonna roll a die to see what goes on here. Number 4 gets discarded. He ends up having a mill, and then I get to stack because of the absorption drill that's out there. Place a card to the top, and that was my action. And we're gonna see if Andrew's gonna just dip us right out of combat and make me mill, or make me banish.
Trick shot.
Oh no, he's gonna try to pull off a trick shot.
Now, doesn't it have some special property?
I would say trick shot has a pretty sizable hit effect.
Can't be prevented.
That's what I'm thinking of. I'll stop you with Black Hawk. I will.
It's something else to watch me correctly stop things, and I'm throwing. Your eyes don't deceive you. I was going to throw a second Black Capture on him, which would have been bonkers.
I'll discard to make it stay out.
Nice.
Okay, he ends up ditching a card from his hand to go ahead and make his energy block stay out for a second shot. Ooh, he's going to force me to push the absorption drill back in because it was keeping things relatively even. So that was Black Declaration targeting it for shuffling back in. That was his action. It goes back to me. I don't know if I'm just going to end combat or if I have any other tricks up my sleeve.
I'll go ahead and end combat.
Yep, that's what I thought. I was going to say, I bet you I'm going to just dip on this combat. And then I believe I have to banish because of Impatience? Is that the end of every turn? Oh, do not tell me I missed that trigger. Oh, that would be real bad. Okay. Well, it looks like I'm milling from Guardian Drill.
Yeah, so I'll mill another one now.
And then your absorption drill goes off then?
Oh man. And I guess you should banish one more for that.
Oh, for Impatience?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought that wasn't. Oh, and this banishes, you say?
Yeah.
And what step was that? Because
We have to sort of refigure this, you guys. I did miss that trigger. Now I recall this one. So Black Impatience is an end-of-turn effect, so I goofed real hard and managed to not notice I was supposed to banish that, so I moved the order of cards that got discarded and banished very slightly. Nothing crazy. Okay, Andrew's going to go ahead and resolve I want to say 2 separate absorptions. He's going to throw Black Mischief up there, and then we're going to see what else he's got up his sleeve.
Or 3, I guess. Just me for this one.
oh, shoot.
Okay, he's going to mill 3 for the effect. Wow, look at that. Of Kami's Guardian Drill. DB goes back to the bottom. It is going to activate Black Mischief, and he's going to go ahead and get that whole effect of being able to snag a separate card and be able to push both of them back into the deck. That's going to work out just fine. So, you guys see about this one, though? It's usually 2 sneaky guys. 2 guys who don't face it straight usually have very slow grinding matches, but really we've been throwing sort of these minor what do they call them, hits back and forth at each other. It's been pretty neat as far as having one of these low small scale fights. I think it's more exciting than a lot of these tend to be.
Fuck it, I guess I'm doing it. Level up. That maybe wasn't the best though, because now you lose that absorption.
Oh, he wanted to get rid of my combo, so he did advance me a level through the effect of DB2, and it did push me up a level. I do lose my drills. He loses Black Impatience. I don't know if that could have cost the game or swerved it completely, but it probably didn't help him in the long run.
Work on cheap shots. A lot of low blows being landed.
Oh, we're just talking about how, like, if Ric Flair and Vince McMahon were wrestling. It's just a bunch of cheap shots. It's nothing but, eye gouges, hair pulls, low blows.
To be the death of the universe. Like, what a line. Whoa, crazy man.
Oh,
Come on.
I'll pass Rejuve.
Okay, he's going to go ahead and end his turn. It's going to go back over to me. Now I'm level 2 with very little ability to do much of anything. So, yeesh, all my drills are gone. I'm at a level that doesn't interact with the mastery anymore. Oh, no! Andrew lost ball 3 because of...
Or destroy 4, I mean.
1, 2, 3.
I still have to mill because Guardian Drill's out there. He's still going to get the effect of the absorption drill. But capture, banish ball 3, and I don't think he has any way to get that back, and that's hilarious that the DBZ music kind of went appropriate to me making an observation. Oh my gosh, Kami, he lost one of the Dragon Balls. We can't make our wish. Something like that.
I'll declare combat.
Yeah, and I drew a hand that made me want to go into combat, so your guess is as good as mine on this one.
Interrogation.
For those who remember Harvey Birdman, that's an awful pronunciation of black interrogation. Yeah, I'm going to roll for number 4, make him ditch a card. Hilarious. Let's see what he's going to throw back at me. Is he really going to throw his level 1 power at me after all this time? He's going to check his discard pile, most likely to see what drills, if any, he has left to target. No, he's going to use Kami's Guardian Drill effect to do a rejuve, an active rejuve in combat. So he does fulfill the requirements for that.
Interrogation.
I throw a second interrogation. That explains my rather ridiculous running into combat. Like, what was I thinking?
All Kami.
And he's going to go ahead and throw his Kami ability at me, which I probably should have just used the mastery in place of interrogation to slow that down.
Dragon Ball in to grab and what is it? Drill.
Oh, wow. He does bring out good old smoothness drill.
Stop with a swipe.
Wow, stop a black swipe. I'm going to go ahead and target and banish 3 cards of discard pile, stopping his level 1 Kami power. That may or may not have been a smart idea, because the Kami power really isn't very strong. I'm going to go ahead and get rid of a bunch of DBZ music playing in the background. It reminds me very much so of this moment being a little more... Oh, man, we are gutting each other out. That is hilarious.
Odds, evens.
There you go. Oh.
Searching tech.
I respond to the mastery, and then we take care of that. Ditch a card. He's going to go ahead and do Black Searching Technique now for real with correct timing. He's going to search my deck and banish any 2 cards. That card was unreasonably powerful in sets 1 through 4. I remember it swaying whole games. Like, if you knew your opponent's deck well enough, that was something we always said about Black style. You have to know all the Black's cards, but you also need to know every other set's cards, every other style's cards. That's rough.
It's a good chapter.
I kind of have to, just playing the game and playing as many styles as I can.
Usually I work really hard. Like, come on, ideas, come on.
You guys, or your action?
Oh, I will throw my hilarious physical.
Ooh, yeah, you gotta be kidding me. I get to throw my level 2 physical. That is one of the most consistently either no effect or blocked attacks I've ever seen in this game. Hey, if anybody out there has a 17 build that actually, takes advantage of his powers and doesn't sort of get handicapped by him, let me know. I'd love to see it.
I'll pass.
I will pass this one.
Wow, I did a modicum of damage with that physical. That is blowing my mind.
Capture.
Okay, capture's going to go off. It's going to go ahead and banish looks like a D-burst. Now he's going to use Kami's Guardian Drill, and he's going to go ahead and mill a bunch of stuff, and a lot of it goes off.
You actually might have made an appearance otherwise.
Ooh, you guys see that? Ball 6, had it come out, he would have been able to pull that banished ball 3 back from the banish zone, had it come back out. Like, that is wild. And I'm going to go ahead and mill because of the effect of Guardian Drill affects both of us. He's going to stack some cards. Where the heck he found a third Mischievous out there, I don't know. It's like I could have swore I targeted all that jazz, but maybe I didn't.
Like, what the fudge? It was. I was going to say, hold on. Negro, hold up.
And then absorption drill will go off.
So how about the way Team 4-Star kind of just said, we give up at the end of the Cell Saga?
Oh, that's just a little bit of a gripe. I perhaps make too much of it. Team 4-Star wasn't making a plug nickel off of the bulk of their content. Like what brought people to the channel wasn't making them a plug nickel because of all the troubles they had with copywritten content when Funimation just giving them Toei, not Funimation, giving them a beatdown. They had to go and spend their time more wisely. He's got 2 Black Maximum shouts out and another one of Black Power Up. Doggone. All the power.
That was like actually too deep for Dragon Ball because the show's pretty light. That Goku's life was actually the problem. Do you know what I mean? His deeds were actually the...
Ball 6, Mill 1.
Oh, he's doing it!
He got a Dragon Ball 6 out. Oh my gosh! So potentially he could be able to pull off that DB3, pull it back from the banish zone.
Hey,
that would be bonkers.
From Goku's nice.
And then I'll pass for Juve, and I'll mill 1, or I'll banish 1. I mean, and then you'll banish 4.
No, I won't. What's making me banish 4?
Or wait, not banish, but mill.
Okay, I'm going to take Guardian Drill damage. He still takes a little for Black Capture. And he's going to go ahead and activate Absorption again to do more placing. You know, I didn't realize this fight might have accidentally ended a while ago because it was for all the placing, which is, not a slight at all, but I realize it does end up being rather important.
Oh, sorry. I got to put this out there. Wait, let me think about that. No, I'll just do it in my hand. Sorry, I'll declare combat, but that'll be in my hand.
Put it in his hand.
So I keep Black Power up my hand for whatever the heck reason. And I declare combat because I feel pressured. I'll open up with Mastery, banish his top of discard pile. Let's roll for that rando. Number 3 is going to get dropped out of his hand. That was an energy block, which is neat, but not necessarily terribly important.
Mischief.
And Black Mischief. Woo! Spirit of Mischief that might have swayed the game. Made him mill, too. That was sweet. Timing was pretty great. Oh, dang. I don't know if this physical is actually going to kill him. Oh, yeah. He still got Earth Dragon Ball 1 out, so it's going to slightly boost up my damage. I think it's 8 and a life. So let's see how bad.
7, 8.
Not enough to actually do anything.
Maximum shout.
Ooh.
Okay, he's going to activate Maximum Shout, trying to squeeze a little bit of extra life out of it, which is a good idea.
I will throw a black combo for AT plus 1.
Oh, black combo goes off. I know that he doesn't have any allies in his deck, so there's no need to finish the search.
I'll wear this for a sec, sure.
Whoa, I could have put Black Capture on me if I wanted.
Knee Clash? Looks like you're gonna
Ooh, Knee Clash does stop it. That's nuts. It did raise my anger 2 levels, but I don't think we bothered even tracking it.
Power up to end.
Nah, you crud bud.
And that explains a little bit of how I remember this match ending. So Andrew's going to go ahead and dip on this one with Black Power Up to end combat. He's forced to banish at the start of his turn because of capture.
Does Guardian Drill kill you?
Uh-oh, Guardian Drill is going to go off, and it may actually kill him before he gets to draw his own 3 by simply whittling him down too low. We figured out it's going to be a substantial mill. 1, 2, 3, 4. He does have to knock 4 out of himself. And then the DB is going to go to the bottom, which is, what it's going to do. I don't think the others have any milled activation. Shoulder charge is not one that stacks. That's right. It's when you actively use it. That's what it is. Doggone. He draws himself out, and the game is over. Son of a gun. A game of nothing but dirty cheaters.
What the Rock is cooking.